Hey guys, so I want to make a video going over what I've been doing for the past few days and what strategies I found out and what I believe to be the best thing in the game currently, at least as far as we know, what's publicly available and all that. So that is of course strong boxes. So I'll show some gameplay footage here, but yeah, essentially you're just farming strong boxes in tier 17, which is just a lot of raw currency, scarabs, divination cards. It's a loot of everything, even some uniques. It's just a very generic farm. And why strong boxes? So as you know, the loot in the game has been nerfed. So general ground loot, monsters drop is generally just a lot lower than it was in the past, leagues, probably past few years. But guaranteed rewards like from strong boxes is not nerfed. So just replace all your monsters in your map with strong boxes instead, and now you start getting loot once again. So that's the general concept and idea of this. You're spawning around, upwards of 40 strong boxes per map. And like I said, you're just getting all types of loot, donation cards, scarabs, and currency. Of course, this is a tier 17 farm. I do think this can be done on a tier 16, and it's a more optimal tier 16 strategy for this, which I'll probably make a video maybe tomorrow or following day. But yeah, anyway, this is just the gameplay. You're just going around a tier 17 map, open up all the strong boxes, and you do want to kill the tier 17 boss. I don't think it's that profitable if you don't kill the boss, as the maps are pretty expensive. Also, this can be done on any map. I do think Abomination is probably the best map to do it on, although the layout's just really terrible. The boss is really terrible. In terms of like more fun, I think Sanctuary or Fortress are the most fun for this strat. But yeah, up to you. Any tier 17 map is viable. Yeah, let me talk about the strategy real quick. So this is Atlas Tree. I'll have a link down below, of course. So essentially, you're just taking all map effect nodes, all quant, some scarab nodes, and most importantly, shrine nodes. So generally the issue when you're using the scarabs, we'll go over them real quick: discernment, containment, hidden compartments, ambush scarab, and potency. So the issue when you use containment is generally you don't spawn altars, eldritch altars all that much, but if you take shrines and with the additional pack, and you have 2 guaranteed shrines, you take these nodes as well, you actually do spawn quite a bit of altars. I think these shrine nodes are pretty much mandatory, and it allows you to spawn altars, which is just a lot more value added to your map. It's generally the reason why people don't use containment all that much, because you can't spawn altars. But with these shrine nodes, you definitely can. I always spawn altars in every single map I do. So yeah, other ones to talk about real quick. Discernment is very, very strong. This just allows for a lot more diviners and arcanist boxes to spawn, which is a lot of the currency. I get a lot of divine dupes all the time. Battle boxes dupe all the time. This is very, very, very strong. Containment is the main part of this. You have to use containment. It is the most expensive. But yeah, it is very, very strong and very well worth the price. Trust me on this. I've done a lot of testing yesterday. I can show some of the data, but it's not fully completed. Hidden compartments, when you're spawning like 40 strong boxes, this is obviously just the best scarab instead of over ambush. The 15% chance to reopen is stacks with these nodes right here. So yeah, this is just a no-brainer when you have this many strong boxes. 1 ambush scarab. Now this is a flex spot. For this in a second. And then 1 potency scarab. I've been using this for the past like 3 or 4 days, and I really like potency scarab. I think when you spawn on 40 strong boxes, it is quite worth it. So yeah, the ambush scarab, this could be anything. You can use Nemesis, you can literally use whatever. You can use Cardo if you want to farm maps. Escalation, Cardo scarab. Like this can literally be anything. I'm just using ambush. I don't think there's really anything better technically. But yeah. Now, outside of that, so where is all the profit coming from? So once again, I'll show this, but it's not fully completed. I'll do some data testing yesterday of my currency and profits. So this is like one farm. I did sold fragments during this farm, so to keep that in mind, I didn't get 23 raw divines. I got like 16 divines from a trade. I think I got 6 or 7 raw divines this hour. And it seems to be pretty consistent with every single hour. I did get 10 raw exalts. You get a lot of raw currency, 2 divine beauties here. But yeah, as you can see, the profit's pretty good, 34 divines an hour or whatever. This was like before cost, whatever. I think in total, it's around 20 to 25 divines per an hour with the current price of the scarabs and the maps. And it also depends on what map you also do. I think A-Bomb is going to net like 2 or 3 divines hour more than other maps. So yeah, I have some other ones over here too. This one was 37 divines hour before cost. Also really good. 4 nurses, 4 raw divines, reality fragments. I think this one's an A-Bomb because I got the nurse. It's also why A-Bomb is the best, because the nurse does naturally drop an abomination, which is very, very nice. And if that drops from a strong box, it actually does dupe. So this, you don't need a diviner strong box for the div cards to dupe. It can drop from any strong box. So strong box can drop any item in the map. So if it drops a nurse from, let's say, a regular strongbox, it will actually dupe. So yeah, that's also why A-bomb is very, very, very strong. They have some others down here as well. Like I said, this is not fully completed. This one, 8 Sephiroths, battle boxes, 5 divines. So yeah. Anyway, this strat is very, very strong for my testing. I think it's at least around 20 to 25 divines an hour. And also, if you want to test this strat yourself, do use Wealthy Exile. Keep track of your currency. I always hear people complain, hey man, where's the currency coming from? I'm not making currency. Literally just use Wealthy Exile and you'll see exactly how much profit you're making per an hour, right? So very nice website. Do use it. Yeah. That's about it for the video. I just want to make this because I'm still testing this live on stream. All this testing, by the way, all of yesterday was all live on stream. Very, very strong. Unfortunately, I was using the Pilfer and Scarab, which has been nerfed, but towards the end of the day, I went to the Ambush Scarab anyway. So this Scarab, I was using tier 17. I do have a tier 16 form coming out with this, which I do think will be quite good, although it will be quite challenging as well. But yeah, they did nerf this Scarab to where all the bosses are pretty much unkillable in tier 17. Are killable in tier 16, but are pretty tough. I do just want to mention that this Scarab is very, very, very strong with strong boxes. I think the Pilfer and Scarab has a lot of potential in tier 16. Was really good in tier 17, but it's nerfed for tier 17, not really viable. But this strong box setup in tier 17 is very, very strong. I guess one last thing is about chisels. I get this question quite a bit. What chisels do you use? I think because of how much generic stuff you get, scarabs, currency, and div cards, you want to use the basic cartographer's chisels, as this will affect everything. More currency, more scarabs, more div cards, more uniques, whatever. I don't really think it's worth specializing into one type of chisel and one doing this type of form, especially since these are additive with the map mods itself. So if you have a map with, let's just say, 210% more currency, and you put the currency chisel on, it's just additive, so it goes with 310% more currency, which is technically only like a 33% increase, right? Or you could just use 20% more quant on the Cardo chisel. Outside of Cardo, I do think the pack size one is the second best, as pack size is something that's hard to get elsewhere besides on just rolling the map. So yeah, I do think Cardo's the best. Mess around with them if you want. I think currency's okay. I think Scarabs is too expensive, not really worth it. Div cards, I think in the tier 16 form is good, not in tier 17 anymore. But yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Of course, I'll be live streaming on Twitch. I'll do more tests on this strat today, and of other strats, of course. But I do think this is currently the best strat in the game, at least that we know of.